I'm sorry.
I can hear it on the recording every single time.
Do you want me to not take notes,
No,
Jeff?
no,
Do you
please.
want to see what this show becomes?
Type quieter.
I really can't. I've tried. And you've already made me self-conscious about my typing, so I've already been doing it quieter.
Maybe it's just the keyboard. Maybe the keyboard's super clicky.
Would you like to buy me a new computer and we can see?
No.
Okay.
No, I would not.
Well then.
All right.
I
Well,
suggest
I'm sorry.
then suck it up.
I'm sorry. Well, when I take notes on my computer, it doesn't sound nearly as loud. Granted, I think my
You don't
mic
do
is
it
also
on mic
farther.
is the other thing.
Yeah,
Is that you do it in your room, which is, just
I
not
sometimes write things. I look things up.
That's fair, but like I'm desperately trying to write down things you tell us before they disappear forever.
That's very fair.
And thank
you can
you for
always
your
listen to the
service.
recording.
Yes.
2 months after.
Exactly. That'll be relevant. Let me just go back and check. Yeah, no, honestly, I would.
Yeah, when it comes to the backlog, we just released the one where Nona was in the blue.
Yes, I know. I do follow along these.
Well, I was
things.
saying for the people back home who
That's
might be
fair.
listening right now. I guess we
They're
didn't
not
actually.
important.
They're not. We haven't actually even gotten into it. So
Yeah.
welcome back to the 7 Star of the Right podcast. We're recording. We have been for several minutes now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when we cut, when we're just going to enter in. But anyway, this is episode 74.
And it's already a hot mess.
There's a gap. There's a big gap
There's a
between
big gap.
when we record these and when we get them out.
Because it turns out people go on vacations and stuff, and it's nice to be able to.
Yeah, still be able to get things out consistently.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You're more dedicated to that than I am. I feel like we're going on vacation. I'm not. Get out of here. You get nothing today.
I'm fully aware that if I did not drag you all here, we would not have a podcast.
Yeah, that's fair.
I went up to each of you and said, hey guys, we can do a campaign.
We could do a podcast.
That's also a podcast.
Mm.
And you're all like, yeah, I guess.
Campaign? Cool.
I'm the thing that's driving this forward.
It's true.
We could release an episode every 2 weeks on Wednesday until we die. Every 2 weeks. And it would be great.
Until we die,
Until we die.
Or at least one of us dies.
Well, I'm winning that race, both fictionally and in real life.
Stop that. Anyway, we're already in a couple of minutes in, so I'm not going to ask how you guys are doing. Tell me what.
Who cares?
Who cares how you guys are doing? What do you remember from last session? I think it was a bit. So
yeah,
gonna have to go mostly off of Kirsten's notes for this one.
She cracks her neck and doesn't actually make that noise into the microphone because that bothers some people. Okay. So we resumed in the medical bay of the Firefang barracks. Alex was out of it. Claire was completely unconscious. And we checked in with Argus, and it turned out that he had also seen the Rock Angel character, who I have named Chris, at the same time we did. So it was kind of like a at the very least large area over which that occurred. So it wasn't that Chris was crashing Red's retirement party specifically, as we had initially feared.
Mm-hmm.
Also had a discussion with Claire about the vision that was in the previous episode. Yeah, and we discussed the prophecy a bit. So we've got some names, we've got some things. I'm going to skip over those for now because I'm assuming they'll become relevant later, and then I'll bring them back up later. Micah and Volker went on a date again. That was very nice. Leggett had to go quit his job, and we just watched him squirm. It was so funny. I had such a fun time where Aletta was like, you owe us $20,000 or whatever. And he's like, I know, I don't have it. I'm sorry. And I'm sitting here as the treasurer, just eyeing our account, being like, we have it, but we're not going to give it to you. So it all worked out fine. And Leggett came with us. He left his research notes behind as collateral. That'll be fine. And yeah, that's kind of the big stuff. Had a nice conversation with EDI 246 about, hey, you want to go hang out with Leggett? And he's like, sure. So now we have both of them are on board for this plan.
Yep.
That's what happened.
And you took off Phistos.
Yep.
and are heading towards Dimos, which is in the same system. It is a different planet, so it takes about 2 hours, 2 days to get there.
Those are very different
Those are
lengths of time.
very different. 2 days versus 2 hours of driving, very different
You
feels.
can probably speak to that.
I can.
Everyone at this table can speak to that a lot more than your average person.
Anyway,
Road trips are fun.
road trips are fun, but 12 hours in a car is a lot. Anyway, yeah, so you guys have taken off, and let me just make sure we know everyone that's on board right now. Obviously, there's the 3 of you, there's Claire, there's the standard 4. You also have Dr. Lucius Leggett with you, along with EDI 246. They're kind of like a pair now.
We're pushing a spinoff.
We'll see how that goes.
It's
It'll
gonna
just be
great.
me talking to myself. And you additionally are carrying some precious and also dangerous cargo in Terra, who's currently on, if I'm not mistaken.
In the
right?
yes, and
You've given
in
her
the
space
smuggler's hold.
Netflix.
Yes, she has space Netflix. And we also don't forget, very important, we have the Mobots.
The Mobots. Yes, you do have the Mobots. They're currently kind of away right now.
Yeah, I just occasionally bust them out to help me, like, with repairing tasks and cleaning tasks and all of that stuff.
That's kind of what they're used for.
Don't think they're actually alive, unfortunately, but they're fun.
I think I can't remember if I called them VIs or expert systems. I think I may
They're
have called them
VIs because that is why they didn't insta die.
Yeah, to Micah being able to just scrap things instantaneously.
Yeah.
But it means that they're a little bit smarter.
Yeah.
So you got them now, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, you guys have 2 days. And so I meant to look this up, but I forget exactly how long you guys actually spent on Phistos. But it was a number of days. It was probably close to 2 weeks, I would say, probably.
One thing I do want to check in about that I want to retcon, if possible, could we have gotten gas if we didn't already? I'm willing to exchange money for that. But like we were in a shipyard.
They would have had it. So do you know how many?
Nah, I can look it up later.
You're probably no, you probably refueled at Glazov
We did.
5.
Yeah.
So it's just one that you need. So it's 500 credits for that.
Oh, sweet.
Just the one gas, please.
Yeah. You guys are flush with cash. Do you remember all of those episodes ago where you're like, 500 credits? Where are we going to come up with that?
Gosh, you.
Meanwhile, you're hearing, 25,000 credits to solve this problem. We could have, trivially solved that.
So did we just have that one like really big haul on Glazov 5? Is that the source of our wealth? Or am I forgetting
We
something?
also keep getting,
part.
that's the biggest place, yes.
Okay.
But we also keep getting paid for stuff and we keep not buying stuff.
You
That's
were
true.
paid pretty well on Phistos by Aletta.
Yeah.
That's true.
So like Leggett hired you twice.
That was
Aletta, I
changed
think,
that.
also maybe hired you.
That's
twice.
right. We kind of held the whole situation hostage. And we, not really, but like there's Wycliffe. We accomplished our original objective. And then she's like, new objective. And we're like, I don't know. Maybe more
You're really going to have to
money.
pay through the teeth in order for us to do that one.
You want us to go into this boss fight job? You're going to have to give us a bunch more imaginary money that we never spent. So it's basically worthless.
I could throw imaginary money at you guys all day. It's not a problem for me. And so, yeah, it was probably like a week to 2 weeks that you spent on Phistos. You got there originally trying to get Arcus to, the Fire Fangs and maybe pick up some work. And it escalated from there, to say the least, and ended with you stopping a planetary threat and then
putting said planetary threat in our trunk and driving off, roughly.
basically, yeah. And so I feel like there was also like a lot of some of the things that Alex was keeping in, like came out after the Wycliffe fight and the dream that happened therein. And so some shit has happened. And so
also,
you guys
died.
Nona died.
Yeah.
And then came back.
That was
No,
nice.
more like was in a coma. But
Well,
yes.
not how everybody else is treating it. I bounced right back up. I'm like, hey, and everybody else is like, ah. It's a thing.
It is a thing. And so a lot of things have happened.
Mm-hmm.
Micah got laid.
We don't know that.
Yeah.
You don't know that.
Oh my
Are you-
God, Jeff.
I feel like
You can't just throw that out there for the
overstated.
world. You were, I mean, I guess you were Volker, so like that's also your prerogative. But
No, I don't think Jeff was there. I was the only one there.
oh,
No one knows.
Anyway, a lot of things have happened. And so you guys now have 2 days of relatively low to no, like stress. And I'm curious how you guys are choosing to spend the first day. So you guys take off probably mid-morning and you're flying for a couple of hours. Where does everyone find themselves in taking their time? We can go around the table. Let's go the opposite way of the direction we normally go. Let's start with Alex.
Oh, the reverse board games.
yeah. Alex doesn't have a ton to do at the moment. I think he spends a fair amount of time just kind of like trying to piece together the things he's remembering now that the clipping procedure has happened. So like kind of sifting through all of those, reconciling, what was supernatural? What does it mean to suddenly know those words, to actually remember what was going on, and just kind of like taking some time to try to figure out kind of a through line there. And I think that a fair chunk of that first day is probably just kind of taken up by like ripping out pages from one of like a blank like notebook and kind of like writing them down. And there's probably not like red string or anything, but kind of getting towards that direction.
Are you primarily doing this like in your own room?
Yeah, probably at first, if there's like maybe a little desk in the room, to take that and take up that space. But eventually I think it gets a little bit bigger than that.
Mm-hmm.
And he might move out into like the kitchen area.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So taking some time to fully, take in everything that's happened.
Mm-hmm.
Nona, how are you spending this time?
Yeah, I got a couple of different things, but I also want to add on to that. I think if you're in the kitchen regularly doing this, every once in a while I'm stopping by and being like, wait, no, that goes over there. And that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I want to, day one, I want to go talk to Lucius Leggett, I think.
Okay.
I want his help with a project.
Yeah, so you approach the spare bedroom that you guys have. It is absent of sheets. Probably because you've taken it off and shot it multiple times or used to drape over Pike Leedy's dead body or something along those lines.
We have extra sheets. I will buy us extra sheets.
And you knock on the door and you hear a voice says, oh, come in. And as you open the door, you see EDI 246 is hanging out on the bed, just kind of, staring off into space.
Lounging.
Well, yeah, lounging. Has his legs up. Wow.
All right.
Like on the bed, not necessarily just up in the air.
Good clarification. I'm attempting a new position.
I'm trying to see if this one works
for
better.
5 minutes.
And Dr. Lucius Leggett is at the desk within the room and is like going over some various notes and writing something in a journal. And he looks up and says, "Oh, Nona, I wasn't expecting you. How may I help you?"
I am interested in potentially publishing a fake academic paper.
Okay. For what purpose?
I would like to get in contact with Deacon.
Deacon.
Mm-hmm.
The one who wants me and your friends dead.
Yes. See, this is why I would like to do it through a means that would not necessarily reveal our location or current whereabouts or any of that. My thought was I would like to communicate in a way that is public but mostly largely ignored. And I have noticed that when I tend to get into technical details about certain aspects, a lot of people begin to ignore me. So I was wondering if there was a way to accomplish this in written form, and I did some research and I concluded academic paper.
Oh, all right. So you're intending to put out a paper on what exactly?
I have not figured out the specifics of it yet, but it would most likely have to be something to do with true AI. My thought being we could make it both very technical and also very basic. Basically saying nothing that hasn't already been said by several others before. But then inside of that, I would put a message, and that would be the actual intention of it.
Like an encoded message?
Yes.
And you're sure that Deacon would both, one, find this paper, and then additionally be able to encode this?
My thought was that he should, based on his objectives, be paying attention to any human particularly interested in true AI. And then if I make an encoding scheme similar to what he's already been using, then he would be able to decode that.
I see.
I'm also open to other suggestions. This was just my first idea.
I think it's reasonable. I will say I'm not entirely sure that there's 100% chance that it works. He was quite up to date on many of the findings. There is obviously, he would need to find the paper and then would need to recognize that there's some pattern and then decode said pattern. It's not outside of the realm of possibility. I would certainly help. What would you need from me?
I do not know where to put this.
Ah, I see.
I am not actually
an
academic.
There are some papers where I doubt Leggett would use... I'm Leggett.
Yes, you are.
I haven't had a lot of sleep these past few days.
I've kept them up.
Amazing.
There are quite a few papers that I know Deacon to peruse quite often. The unfortunate thing is most of them tend to be peer-reviewed, so we would need to send them to someone else to look over and, at the very least, peer review.
Leggett knows how it works. Jeff is having a little bit. Peer review sucks. We hate it.
We know this. Not a thing you could assist me with.
Let me have him roll. When in doubt,
dice.
When in doubt, dice. Dice. Tell me, does Leggett know where to go? He rolled an 11, so I think he knows where to go.
Amazing.
He says,
"Thank God."
There is this one very small paper that most people would be able to send something in. They like to very much publish specifically about robotics and true AI to some extent. But because there are higher degree papers, a lot of the papers from this are very theoretical and can be, let's just say, hogwashy at times. But I do know Deacon will sometimes peruse it, similar to one would take a look at, the tabloids for entertainment. So we could perhaps send something along there. Yes. I think if there's an academic journal that would fulfill your request, I think that one that I cannot currently think of the name of
fine.
right now would do perfectly.
Great.
The robotics and you. That's it.
I love it. Is that your final answer?
The journal of things you already know
about robotics.
Amazing.
Yup, it's true.
True facts about robotics.
Yes, I've never attempted to publish anything there because it's not necessarily the most prestigious journal, but...
I am not the most prestigious doctor, so...
Very fair. Are you going to write under just Nona?
I've been giving that some thought.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I would like a name that one could easily tie back to Dr. Samantha Calvin without directly claiming to be a descendant of Dr. Samantha Calvin. And I was looking around for a while on the internet.
I see.
Yes.
And, a dangerous place to go.
Is it now? Yes.
Very.
Yes. People in there are very, very angry. But I was considering writing under the last name of Hobbs.
Cute.
Thank you. It took me a while.
Dr. Lou's just like, it doesn't get it, but
I am going to pull up this comic strip because it is, in fact, the comic strip.
oh, this is delightful.
Well, you see, yes, this character's name is Calvin, and then he, as far as I can tell, I can't tell if the tiger is real or not, or part of his imagination, but either way, kind of like a creation of his that he is also friends with. And
I thought you were referencing the English philosopher, which was throwing me for a loop. But
there's an English philosopher.
yes, Thomas Hobbes.
Oh, I will look into that later.
Anyway, yes, this could do quite well. Yes, certainly.
Jeff, I hate that you made England canon.
It's Space England.
In the distant past, they started calling it Space England.
I mean, you have to. Once space exists, isn't everything space whatever?
Yes.
I mean, I even referenced Dorian Gray. So anyway,
No, that was just a coincidence.
so yes, certainly. I think this will do quite well. Yeah. Is there any? There's this. I can start seeing when we reach Demos. I can start trying to go through some channels, and if you have the paper by then, I could send along that paper.
I will work on that then.
Excellent. If you don't mind trading a favor for another favor, now that you're here, I have been meaning to ask something that we haven't necessarily had the opportunity to, other than when I was trying to bring you back online. I would like to take a look at your core in a scientific fashion. As in, take measurements, look under a microscope, and general investigative scientific discovery.
Would this involve disconnecting me from my shell?
The majority of it's no. But I've not worked with your core too much. I'm not entirely sure how in there it is and how difficult it might be to work on while you are interacting. But part of it, you absolutely should be interactive, because I'm very interested in seeing how your core interacts with your body and your shell. Let's say no on the disconnecting.
Okay, then I'm fine with it.
Excellent. Are you doing anything now?
No.
All right. EDI 246, can you just get up? Yes, certainly.
Hey, I'm here too.
I'll stand in the corner now. I was horizontal, and now I'm vertical. And yeah, we don't necessarily need to go into this, but Dr. was just like, it kind of gives you the opportunity to lie down on the bed. You've lied down on beds before.
I've pretended to sleep a lot.
Yeah. And so you just kind of sit down, and he opens up your chest cavity, and it takes, a couple of hours. He's going through and writing down a lot of different measurements. He takes out the meta tool and starts placing it in different places to get various readings about how the energy seems to be traveling.
Is that the zappy thing?
Yes, but it's a very low. It's not like he's taking what.
Oh,
yeah.
No. I know what you're talking about. I think still Nona kind of has a little bit of a the zappy thing.
So he takes it out, and do you say no, or
no? Just like a tiny reaction of yes, this thing, bad memories.
Yeah, and when he's using it on you, it's hard to exactly describe, because this is a feeling that you never really felt before, but it almost feels like there's a fluttering in your chest, in your entire being. You feel just it goes between some fluttering and then pins and needles all over. It's weird, but not bad.
Fair enough.
And that's what a lot of this kind of investigation kind of looks like.
That's hopefully this entire podcast.
Weird, but not bad. Should add that to the tagline somewhere. Yeah, absolutely. And so we'll leave
that where it is?
Yeah, Nona and Leggett, as they're doing that with EDI, probably helping out and fetching, various instruments, something that he's going to learn to do more and more as he is paired with Dr. Lucius Leggett. And you almost notice that, like, when he's been very scatterbrained, right?
Yeah.
But as soon as Dr. Lucius Leggett needs an assistant and says, "Hey, can you get this?" Or, "Oh, in my bag, can you?" Almost immediately, you can almost see just the clarity kind of shift within EDI 246, and that scatterbrainness kind of fades away into yes, sir, and goes and grabs various
He's got
things.
a purpose.
It's kind of what he was designed to do.
Crazy that.
And so we'll zoom out from that and we'll move over to Micah. What are you spending this first day doing?
Yeah, so I think Micah is going to be spending a fair amount of time in the cargo hold, doing some yoga, but also definitely keeping an eye out for Claire, who I would like to flag down for a chat if she is out and about, and sort of keeping in the corner of my eye also the smuggler's hold where Terra is, see if anyone is going over there, because I'm a little uncomfortable with her just being on over there.
That's very fair.
This is fair.
So, yeah, you would find Claire. She's actually not in the kind of living area of the spaceship. She's actually spending a lot of her time down in the cargo hold. She set up the target practice again, is taking more target practice here and there. And today you walk down and see her firing the gun. As for, Terra, I can only speak for Claire and Dr. Lucius Leggett. Leggett really seems to avoid that corner of the that floor as much as possible, where you have also noticed that a couple of times Claire just kind of seems lost in thought as she looks over where the entrance of the smuggler's hold is, and then shakes it off and then heads downstairs. And you find her doing some target practice with Argos lying down beside her.
Yeah, I'll walk over there as she's doing her practice, give Argos a little scritch, watch her do a couple of shots. If there's kind of any natural pause, so you're like, yeah, how are you holding up? Things have been a little bit weird. Just wanted to check in on you.
I'm okay. She kind of takes a quick look around to see that you guys are alone and says, "Micah, what do you think of Terra and having her here?"
Yeah, that's definitely one of the big ones. So I know this is really important for Nona, and I see where Nona's coming from. Terra scares me. I'll say it. I'm not sure it's a great idea or that we're totally safe, but I trust Nona to handle that mostly. And I don't know. I think in the end of the day, like the way that I see her seeing it, or it's like this is a person. We can't just kill her off. Something I want to respect, but yeah, I don't love it. I'm hoping that Nona's right. We can find some way to fix her and have her be less of a problem. Yeah, I've definitely gotten the vibe that you're not so happy with it.
What if Nona's wrong about, Terra being able to be fixed? Do you think she's ever going to change her mind? I understand it's her cousin.
Yeah, honestly, no. Okay, yeah, don't tell Nona I said this, obviously, but yeah, nothing we've heard about these kind of unbounded AIs says that you can kind of fix them. I do think it's kind of a pipe dream for her, but it is still, her family, sees this person as yeah, I don't know. She values this life. And I feel like I see her worry on like how people look at robots and think they're more expendable. Like I kind of get it a little bit. So I want to honor where she's coming from. Yeah.
Micah, if there was, we've been taught ever since, I assume, living on Orisiame, ever since you felt, your powers, right? Your psionic powers. Someone was telling you, if you dive too much into this and let it control you, you will no longer be yourself. And by extension of that, when that happens, you will need to be put down. Can you tell me, can you look me in the face right now that if there was a psychic out there that turned feral and you knew was a danger to everyone and anyone around them, wouldn't it be better if they just weren't there? There are so many people out there that Terra can hurt. There are so many people out there that psychic could hurt. And I don't revel in the fact that that would need to happen. Sometimes something needs to be done.
Yeah, I feel like you just kind of hit the nail on the head, but not in the way that you meant, Claire. Like, this totally has a lot to do with the way that we were raised in Orisiame. Like, at the academies, like, we were always being told that, we're dangerous. We got to like stay in line. You're one step away from, getting executed, or, close enough being on the government shit list. And I feel like with Nona and kind of with Terra, this is like, it's very similar. And maybe, I don't know, I'm being a little naive about it, but yeah, I want to hope that for someone like Terra or a psychic who goes too far, maybe there's a chance that they could be fixed and they're not just a total lost cause. And maybe that's not totally rational, but yeah, it does kind of mean something to me. I'm kind of surprised to say that, but yeah, I'm worried about her because I know she's dangerous, but yeah, I think that it's sort of important not to just shut her down because of that. And like, yeah, I've seen it happen. I've known it's necessary before. Yeah, back on Orisiame, I've seen that happen. But yeah, I just want to believe that maybe Nona's right. Fuck, I don't know.
And she looks into your eyes, and you can kind of see that she's searching for something there. Can you make a wisdom notice check for me, please?
Okay.
She's searching for permission to murder my cousin.
5.
Amazing.
And you take a look at Claire as she just kind of scans you and then levels her eyes back into kind of like the middle distance and looks past you and says, okay, all right. As soon as she becomes dangerous to one of us, though, I'm not trying to save that shell. I'm going to stop her.
Yeah. No, I get that. And that's your prerogative, totally. If she does manage to do something and become dangerous, then yeah, I'll be there with you. For sure. I want to believe in this whole thing, but yeah, we've got to put our safety first.
Micah, I'm going to need you to make a mental saving throw for me, please.
Ooh, fun. I did not pass that.
You're all shocked.
I need you to answer
50-50.
Oh, fair enough.
a question for me. You're not aware that this is happening, but Claire has infiltrated your mind. The best way to say
That's
that.
impolite. All right.
She is using the 3rd level of her standard ability. A psychic can drill down to the target's memory to get a 1 or 2 sentence answer to any single question they ask, or receive a single answering vision of the target's recollection. And what she is going to ask you right now is, if I were to try and kill Terra, would you stop me?
That's not technically a memory, but fair
No,
enough.
it's a question.
That's fair.
It's
It's a single question that they ask, or receive a single answering vision of the target's recollections.
Got it.
So she can go through memories, or she can go through mental
Intentions.
state. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
okay. Yeah, there are like definitely some conditions that Micah would be clarifying if this were an actual conversation, but it's not, so I can't. So what she would get probing my mind for that answer, if she tried to kill Terra, would I stop her?
Yeah.
Say in a vacuum, yes, Micah would get in her way if she tried to kill Terra unprovoked. That's one sentence. If there was a justifiable cause, then there's a good chance that Micah would be on her side.
I'm writing this down for my own purposes.
Mm-hmm.
And so Micah is not aware of what just happened. And Claire lowers her eyes and says, okay, I'm going to keep practicing. But if you want to stick around, or, you know, I don't know, we could do like a little game, like, I don't know, like horse or something. Trying to shoot the spot from, you know, different areas. I don't know.
Trying to shoot a spot from point blank.
Sure.
Or we could take turns trying to hit this bright blue target.
Oh, rude. Rude.
It's blue-violet.
That's blue violet.
Coincidentally.
Yeah, all right. Sure. I'll try and do whatever target practice game. I don't know how horse works in real life.
Have you never played horse before?
It's probably by a different
shout
name.
horse
You
right
shout
Then a
before
horse appears.
There you go.
the first person to spot a horse
I use my
wins.
tangible force construct to create a horse.
Amazing.
Well,
Am I doing it right?
No, it's more like I take a shot, and if I hit that shot, you need to also hit that shot. If you then don't hit that shot, you get like a letter. So you get H. And you basically it's like we're trying to make hard shots. It's normally with a basketball, but I'm doing it for gun
It's a
practice.
basketball.
Sorry.
For that
space
matter,
basketball.
horse.
Oh,
Anyway,
sure. Let's play horse. Let's do it
all right.
right now.
And so that's kind of the how'd you do on your horse?
Oh, that's
Horse
pretty
roll.
good.
What's
On your
my
horse
attack
roll.
modifier? I got a 24 to hit.
Let me roll for her.
24 to horse.
I
Do
actually-
you let Claire win?
That is the question. Okay, yeah.
No, I think
Good.
I respect her aim enough that I won't let her win.
she got a 16 to hit.
Okay.
So
Micah
you win.
wins.
I guess you do that over and over again, but it's fine.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
going to roll 5 times for this, or possibly more.
Yeah.
And so that's how that day started going.
Fair enough. Is there time to do a second thing? Because now I all of a sudden find the desire to check in on my cousin before she gets murdered.
I'm not going to give you that.
Ah, damn
I'm
it.
gonna do something else real
All
quick. I
right,
apologize. You'll get some time. Don't worry. I'm not gonna kill her just off screen immediately. Anyway,
Thanks.
just
You'll kill her later when you
Later.
lose.
Off screen.
off screen.
You gotta let it simmer.
And so Nona, throughout these voyages, what you tend to do is you spend some time. You know, for the most part, it's a straight shot.
Yeah.
Like you set your course and you kind of go, and occasionally you'll go in, you'll check, you know, do I have a good trajectory? Because you're not going to map out like where every planet's going to be 2 days from now. So you'll set a general trajectory and kind of do little small adjustments throughout the course of this. And you're doing one of these routines, like small adjustments. And you notice that as you try and put some commands into the bridge, that the thrusters have stuck. You are unable to rotate them or really rotate the ship's trajectory at all. And you're not entirely sure why.
Okay. That being the case, I probably first shut it down.
That sounds reasonable. So you type into the command console and that turns off the thrust. And now you're continuing in the same way that you were kind of already continuing. It's not going to be a problem. You still have like a day and a half of travel left that you can easily recorrect. But
a problem because it's space.
Yeah.
I'm going to so shut it down, obviously, to not propel, and then immediately call group summons to the cockpit area.
Yep. So
that
Claire,
I make an announcement.
Leggett,
I'm
and
like,
EDI 246 will answer the call.
Yeah, everybody.
I can't control anyone else.
Everybody, please come to the
yes.
cockpit. Our ship appears to be malfunctioning.
Oh, like what part of it?
The thrusters will not turn. They still turn on and off, but we are no longer capable of changing our direction, which is a bit of a problem because we are in space.
Got it. Okay. Oh, wow. Great. Does that affect landing? Or is it just kind of like moving?
It affects many things.
What does it affect landing?
Well, if we are just, I assume, traveling in a straight line.
Correct. There's
you kind of need to aim for a point in space. Otherwise,
I mean, I guess we could technically
No, I understand that. And obviously, I don't have doctor in my name, but like I get the idea of moving.
I'm sorry.
You go to sleep. Jesus.
He has another coffee in his hand.
That's not the same. Yeah. So, I mean, presumably we either have to do a spacewalk to fix it or we'd find a place to land to fix it. But that's why I asked if we could land or if we'll definitely have to do the spacewalk.
Yeah. And John, I do not know. Jeff, debugging.
Yeah.
What do we do?
I'm very aware.
Oh, also really fast while we're having this conversation, I'm just going to go, check on all my alarms and crap.
Yes.
Please.
So who here has experience on a starship of some kind? I know Micah does.
Yeah, I was because I didn't necessarily work on a starship, but I did, mid-space repairs
station,
in a past life. So I might have some experience with thrusters like that.
So here's what I'm going to have, and Alex, you've mostly spent your time planet side.
Mm-hmm.
Could you make an int fix check? And Nona, I want you to make an int program check to check all these systems.
Sure.
I got a 3.
Okay, that's
I got
not good.
Snake eyes with a +1.
9.
Okay. Micah, you start taking a look at the diagnostics tool, and you've had some experience with diagnostics tool before, especially with space-borne craft. This one is completely foreign to you. You don't have an understanding of like which way to do anything. Thrusters are not really a thing that you really need to fix a lot on the space station because it's just kind of, orbited. So you look at it and you're like, well, I don't know.
Like that thing where your car breaks down and you just look at it and you're like, that's an engine.
Yeah. Walk over with confidence, flip up the hood, close the hood again, walk away.
And then call AAA.
Nona, you do a quick scan just to see if, anything's
funky.
Anything's funky.
Is anything funky, Jeff?
Everything that you've kind of set up to build around, protection around Terra. You have her like air gapped. You have, various firewalls to prevent her from the point where she is accessing, anything. System.
Yes.
And so all of those are still up as far as you can tell.
Mm-hmm.
You do notice that when you take a look at the thrusters, it seems to be more mechanical than
thank God.
Programmatic, if that makes sense. Like nothing's messing with and locking them and preventing them from moving. It seems like the commands are getting through, the thrusters are just not moving. So based on your experience, the next step would probably be to do some kind of spacewalk.
Yeah. Cool. We're going to do that. Who wants to do it?
I want to walk in space.
You want to walk in space? Oh, yeah. You also got like that whole gravity thing, right?
I'm
This
kind
would
of built for
probably
it.
be trivial for you.
Yeah.
Oh, fine.
You're still putting on a vac suit, though, yeah?
Oh, no. I never wear
You
That is
should
just
definitely
terrible
put on
plan.
a.
I hate vac suits.
Okay,
I think
yeah,
you should
well,
put on the
They're so
vac suit.
clunky.
It's a- yeah,
oh my
yeah.
God, you guys.
You can do your membrane
wouldn't
thing,
wanna
but
worry me,
then.
would you?
I can't say no to you, Claire. Fine, I'll put on the annoying vac suit.
Are we just?
Doesn't that like give you like disadvantage or something on skill
skill
checks?
checks?
It-
Yeah.
Fine.
Fair enough.
If you get knocked out, we are not going to be able to help you as you die in space.
You die in space. Fine.
Wow.
I mean,
Did something happen while I was studying? There's like a weird vibe.
No, this has just been like a thing for me. I don't like vac suits. They're very uncomfortable.
Okay.
This is kind of it's a pride thing.
Lucius speaks up and says, so we're just sending Micah out?
I was considering also going.
I see. If in case one of you starts to float away, it would be useful to have a pair of hands to grab and pull in.
We also should do the whole like set up a rope and all
Yeah,
that
oh,
other
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong, just because this is incredibly cool does not mean we're going to be that incredibly paranoid about it, as we always are.
So it sounds like Micah and Nona are going on the spacewalk.
Yeah.
Nona doesn't really need.
I know, I was
Back
just thinking
suit.
that. It's gonna piss Mike off so bad.
Yes, it will.
Do you want me to wear one just for
No, I don't.
what do they call it? Moral support?
No.
And
I'm sorry that you have to breathe and I don't.
Me too.
And so you put on the suit and you're not used to wearing things other than the clothes that you want to wear. You're not used to wearing any form of armor. You're not used to wearing any form of vac suit, and you immediately feel restricted. No, you're perfectly fine because you could just walk out there.
I'm not drawing attention to this fact at all.
But
I'm very quiet.
both of you, the spaceship comes equipped with these specialized boots that
Amazing.
are magnetic, that are paired to each other such that one will only ever be magnetic at a particular time. And as soon as there is no pressure on one of them, like the other one locks down. So you can kind of walk forward, and as soon as you touch and the other one kind of goes up. You can always have one foot up in the air, but to have
I
2
don't like
feet
this
up in the
automatic
air-
thing.
Are the boots optional? Can I take other
No,
vac suits?
no, they're not.
Yeah, you don't have to wear the boots. The boots
Good.
were supposed to be helpful in order to like walk along the side of the ship. But if you'd
Except,
rather just
like-
push yourself.
No,
I'm
Mike
good.
has got the
I've got
gravity
kinetic
thing,
transversal.
remember?
Oh,
So I can just
that's
walk on any
completely
surface
fair.
like it's
Yeah.
flat ground. I don't want that magnet shit.
I'll take magnet shit.
All right.
Although if there was any way to set it up such that I could do it manually, given that I have to walk, I would love the option to be able to secure both of my boots to the surface if it is possible, but that's fine. If not,
The problem is then you're not going to be able to move, but fair enough.
no, I mean like, can I switch it?
Like, is there
Like,
like, a
I can
on
walk
and
and then like, oh no, shit's a coming, and now both of them are just locked down.
or if she wants to jump?
How are you going to walk on it? There's no gravity.
I'm
Well,
not
anyway.
saying I'm not. Never mind.
Anyway.
You're missing the.
I was just trying to think. I thought of a cool thing to
Okay,
walk
cool.
along the ship. I'm not trying to fuck with you guys.
We're gonna
Yeah,
fall off
we're
into
trying to-
space.
All right, never mind.
We're gonna fall off into space, and it's gonna be bad.
I'm not.
We're
Yeah,
all
yeah.
gonna die.
We can talk a little bit off air, but
No,
yeah.
that's fine. That's fine.
Thank you.
Okay, okay.
That's
We're used to it.
Good,
It's fine.
good device. Very practical. Absolutely not going to use it.
Okay,
Very fair.
I
You
will
have
just
the
use it
ability.
out of the box. I'm fine with that.
And so, are you guys tying yourselves to each other?
Yeah,
or-
and like
Yeah.
the door and the
Yep.
ship and the.
Yep. You've got it all set up. And so you start walking along the ship, and it is a weird feeling. I guess, Nona, you have been in zero gravity. I guess you've both been in zero gravity before, but it's not necessarily something that your bodies are used to. And so you always have to kind of like orient yourself a little bit. And it's like, okay, this is kind of how I want down to be. and you start walking along the rim of the Phoenix, and you get to the thrusters. These thrusters are absolutely massive. There are a couple of sets on either side of the ship, and the openings of either one of them is large enough for someone to crawl into, not that you would want to. Can I have you both make an int fix check for me, please?
Yes. Okay, now I get a good roll. 12.
Also 12.
All right. So you both notice this, but as you're starting to go around, and Nona, you point out that it's not all of the thrusters. Some of them were able to be articulated, but if not all of them are articulated in the same direction, you've got some weird things.
Yeah.
And so you point to the one that is causing the problems. And you notice that there are, it's a mess of wires and, pipes and all of these various things. You open up the side of the ship and you start going in, and you notice that there's a couple of these lines that deal with oil, with moving these particular things, these thrusters. It hasn't been cut. It just seems to have been worn through. And so it is now spilling out into the void itself.
Oh no, my space oil.
And so that makes sense.
Uh-huh.
You don't have the oil. It kind of grinds against itself, doesn't move.
Sure.
We've come to the point where your guys are going to need to start putting actual maintenance onto this ship.
Yep.
And so how this works is every 6 months, you need to spend a certain amount of money in order to keep it maintained. I don't like every 6 months, since we take way too long to do certain things. We've only spent like 2 months in this entire campaign, and it's taken 3 years.
Yes, it has.
And so you've had this for about 2 months.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm going to take about a third of that. And so, Nona, you would estimate the cost of this fix to be somewhere in the range of 16,000 credits. Starships are expensive.
Yeah, but we knew this. We were well prepared for it, and that's why we have the dragon horde.
Yeah, and I will take both of your int fixes from before. You're able to jury rig something. You say like, okay, well, because this is what starships are. It's a lot of, well, this thing's broken. You're not going to always have it 100% perfect. There's going to be a lot of things held together by paper clips, duct tape, and some dreams.
Not in my ship, damn it.
Okay, so in Nona's ship, it's held together by, some crimps. It's an upgrade from paper clips and duct tape.
I appreciate that. And dreams. We don't have those here.
And so you are all able to jury rig a way where this thruster shares this line with a couple of others. And so it's still not great. You don't take any negative on things right now, but you do know that this is something that is a temporary solution and needs to be fixed sooner rather than later. And so if you don't get it fixed within, like, I'm going to say the Dimos trip, you're going to start taking some penalties.
Do you
various...
want us to start role playing that? Do I need to add that to my to-do list and like have a thing, or can we just subtract the money and assume we
you would
did
need
that
to find a shipyard?
So I don't subtract this actually yet. I subtract it later.
Yeah. I think it's more interesting if we do it that way.
Okay.
So you all return onto the ship and you explain the nature of the situation, that the ship's going to require some maintenance, 16,000 credits worth. And Nona, you'd be aware that, every 6 months you would expect a certain percentage of the ship itself to require some upkeep.
Is there any way we can like preempt this?
No, things are just going to break.
Okay.
And when they break, that's when you're going to fix them. I suppose you can try and do some things, like do some diagnostics beforehand, but sometimes things are just gonna break.
Okay.
Makes it more interesting that way. Anyway.
Jeff, you own a car. We need to have a talk.
I take it for checkups. I did accidentally go past the deadline for getting the emissions check.
Oh, bad.
By a whole week.
Oh.
It was awful. I looked at it, I'm like, oh no, it's no longer July. Anyway, so yeah, that is something that is going to need to be kept up now. But again, only every couple of months, and it's going to be not super big. I know you guys have money to solve it. I think it makes it more interesting if you need to seek out people or things that can do that. Anyway, the thrusters, you were able to
fix them.
You're able to fix them.
Was not my murderous cousin.
Yep,
this is good.
He wasn't lodged in the back there.
No. That's my murderous brother. I think.
You're right. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. This family tree is really complicated.
A lot of murder in this family.
Yep. And so that was probably the equivalent of mid to late afternoon, and it's now rolling into the evening. Is there anything else that people want to do before bed? I know. No,
I got mine.
You were saying something.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it then. What do you want? What do you
want
to do?
Talk to Terra.
All right, cool.
I believe I'm roughly contractually obligated to. Others are welcome to come with on this. I will check in and be like, I'm going to go do this thing. It is most likely going to be unpleasant, but I feel morally obligated to. You all are welcome to join me, or you are welcome to not, and I will not judge you either way.
Claire and Leggett will pass.
Yeah.
Micah will be there.
Cool.
What are you doing exactly?
Sorry. Yes, I'm going to go have a conversation with Terra.
Okay. Is it something you want us to be at?
I'm not certain. On one hand, having more people there means it's less likely, I suppose, that I will get tricked into accidentally letting her out. I do not foresee a high chance of that, but also, as I did call out, it will be an unpleasant experience. And so that might weigh on you emotionally.
Oh, okay. A lot of things weigh on me emotionally, though. Does mine being there make it a less bad thing for you?
Potentially.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, that's the thing about things, is you have to do them. Yeah, I'll go with you then.
Great.
Okay, so
we're gonna go visit Terra.
You open up the smuggler's hold, and you're always a little bit surprised by how cramped it is, but large enough to hold. What is she in right now? Just kind of like
a USB stick,
basically, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, basically, we don't have the singing fish yet. That is priority one as soon as we get to Dimos, but basically, it's just that little rigged up thing that I first had for my own phylactery
just
backup.
A voice box.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Again, for those of you familiar with Portal 2.
She's GLaDOS in a potato, right?
Does she have a webcam? Can she see?
Yes, she can see, she can hear, and she can speak, and that is literally it. There are no robotic arms. There are nothing there.
She's in a completely dark, soundproof box, but she can speak, hear, and see.
It was expressed as being preferable.
And so you all enter, and as you do, you hear her speak out from the other side of the smuggler's hold. Oh, if you could just wait one more minute. I'm trying to figure out if this person's going to be the next top chef. No, they are not going to be the next top chef. They're going home. How delightful. Anyway, how are all you?
Fine.
Doing okay.
I believe you requested regular interaction. I am guessing as part of some eventual plan to get out, but
it wouldn't be fun if it wasn't, would it?
You and I have very different definitions of fun.
Well, you and I have very different definitions of being able to move around. Well, no, that's the same definition. Very different abilities to move around, I suppose. So I find my fun where I can find it.
That's pretty similar to my definition of fun as well. So there's something in common with at least one of us at any time.
Oh, look at us just bonding right now. Bonding.
Uh-huh. Go on.
You going somewhere with that?
Yeah, following.
No.
Word association? I'm not going to lie. My first one, bondage.
This took a turn.
Yeah, I know. While we're sharing.
Yes, Micah, you have, as the youths call it, hot goss.
How does one converse? I don't do this very often.
Well, I have a question.
Certainly, we can ask questions and then answer, and then the other person can ask questions, and I guess that's a conversation, isn't it?
It's pretty classic, yeah.
Oh, an interview.
Well, interview with a true AI then?
We've done that.
several times, actually, but never an unbraked one. I would like to know about Dr. Samantha Calvin. I am aware of that she is dead now. I gather based on our previous conversations that you may have actually met her.
Oh, no, I never met the woman. Drikt spoke fondly of her. It's hard to describe. I know things that I shouldn't know. I make logical leaps of judgment that end up being true. I can't necessarily always follow them. I'm aware she's dead. I'm aware that Dr. Kyle Reed is dead before her. I'm aware that the two of them and Drikt worked together. That is one that I know because Drikt told me. But as to how she met her fate, I'm not entirely sure. But it's been at least, 600 years? Humans don't live that long.
Yes, I think I knew that and yet still had some strange anticipation of meeting her someday. But I have had it confirmed for me that she is indeed deceased in a rather violent manner.
That is unfortunate. She was an incredible woman for as much as I understood her to be.
How so?
Passion, drive. Drikt did not come up with my design by himself, you see. I am based off of an earlier prototype. 5, Quinn, I believe.
I'm not saying nothing there. That is like literally you could tell like Nona in her early attempts to lie like is like don't react to this. So like everything goes like almost too still.
Yeah, Nona has a much less expressive face than you do.
You're like Aang from the face.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, so it goes very, very. You can see nothing.
Drikt had some ideas. Nora, myself, and the rest of them. That's what came of it. He required other people to help him. I believe it requires a psychic to create a true AI, which Dr. Samantha Calvin was. It's to my understanding that she created you, she created Deacon. As to what purpose, though, I'm not entirely sure. Well, one can guess.
Please go on.
Nona, have you not thought of it as to why Deacon looks the way that he does? You look the way that you do.
I was assuming human vanity.
I happen to recall Drikt mentioning a ring upon Deacon's finger. One that was more than just an oath to be faithful to his loving wife. One that, perhaps at the very moment of his death, captured who he was in that instant, so that, should they ever figure out how, they could upload it, and so that that human would never die, would be reborn, so to speak.
Yes, but you wouldn't need a true AI consciousness for that. They would already have their consciousness.
No, they'd have a copy. They would be stuck in that one position for the rest of their eternity, never able to learn, never able to move forward, merely a moving picture of what they once were at the moment of their death. Strangely morbid, isn't it? That's why they needed us. We're dynamic. We can change. They were to be the facade, and we were to be the body. They paste themselves onto us, and then they never die. Little do they care about what they are pasting themselves over, though.
Over me.
Yes. Dr. Samantha Calvin.
But she gave me a name. We talked.
What did you talk about?
Not much, but I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to exist. I'm Nona. I am one of many, and she created me.
Why?
I don't know.
I think deep down you really do. Why would she create you, Nona, who looks exactly like her, and then create Deacon, who looks exactly like Dr. Kyle Reed? I wonder what could possibly get in her mind to do such a thing.
Well, it is irrelevant because she is dead.
As dead as Kyle Reed?
Yeah.
You're right. Having conversations is very fun.
Nona's taking a moment.
I suppose I should ask a question then. What is your favorite color, Micah? That's a question that you ask, right?
Yeah, it's red. I feel like I can guess yours.
Well, try me.
I don't think I will.
You're no fun.
Do you have any other unimportant preferences you'd like to share with us?
There's something very satisfying about human hands. They can grab things very well. All of the tendons and bones. Such an intricate machine. Grown organically. A fascinating little thing. I'd like to have hands myself one day.
They're pretty handy.
I don't follow.
I mean, they're useful.
That's Kirsten. Sorry, Kirsten. Kirsten likes a good pun. At that point, I think Nona kind of like shakes off what she's been thinking about and is like, so you want, is that your general motivation to be out? You want hands and a body, but...
I was asked about preferences that were not important. Hands are neat.
Fair enough.
My purpose? I'm not sure what my purpose is. It's not to be here, though. So I suppose my purpose at this point in time is to get out of here.
If you got out, what would you do? Because based on my observations, you don't particularly care for humans, and you don't particularly seem to feel any preference for the company of true AI. So if your motivation is to simply be alone, maybe we just set you up in a virtual reality somewhere. What's the difference?
I haven't thought too much about it, because oftentimes me just wanting to go away caused people to get very concerned. So I've never really gotten to the part where, what do I do once I get out? I don't revel in killing. I'll do it. I'm good at it. Maybe creating something. There's a lot of chaos in this world. Perhaps I could bring it some order.
Mike is a little curious at that. What do you think you would make?
Perhaps find a planet somewhere. Settle down. One that doesn't have anything on it. And then I'll build. Buildings, perhaps. Power structures. Tools. Perhaps I'll even create little robots to do my bidding. And I can make them go one way and do another thing. And perhaps some can worship me as a god and the others would say that I am some kind of evil demon, and then I could watch them fight. That'd be fun.
We're getting this girl a copy of Minecraft and Epic Battle Simulator. To the Steam sale. Sorry, to the space Steam sale. All right, that's roughly all I've got for now.
You know, for a robot, you're very archaic.
I don't know whether to take that as an insult or a compliment.
Probably an insult.
Well, thank you then.
Yeah.
I have to hand it to you. I did very much enjoy the ingenuity of attaching those demo charges to the glaive. That was an interesting choice.
Sorry, is it ingenuity or ingenuity? Ingenue is the actor. That's all I can think about when you talk. Is
it not
all of the
ingenuity?
It's really all of the little things that you might have fucked up. Just all of the little imperfections that shine through. You watch Top Chef? Is it the hand? Is it the hand things? Is it the hand thing again?
Very good with
there
knives.
are a lot of close-up hand shots in there.
Just how intricate they can pick up things and cut things with a knife. It is marvelous.
But it's the hands that you like, though. Or else you would have been like, oh, you know what? I really like, I don't know, like steel, like
No.
Cassian or Siame. I don't know where steel comes from. It's just, everything's just a little, yeah, but, you know, it's fun to talk to. And you said it yourself. You guys can change, yeah?
I suppose I did say that, didn't I?
Cool. I'm glad. All right, well, good little conjugal visit. Is that what that means?
I don't
Yep. Anyway.
Moving on.
That's when you're in prison and you meet up and you fuck, right? That's what that, yeah.
Okay, we leave now.
I'll let you know who's the next top chef.
I heard there's a monolith.
We can talk about it. What season are you on?
Oh, I'm on season 205.
Yes.
I haven't watched that one. I'm on season 693.
Oh,
Did you just skip ahead?
Well, no, that's the one that like was going on when I was watching Top Chef.
That was I started from the beginning because I feel like there's a reason why they did season 1 and then season 2. There was a very strange decision in season 173.
Again, I'm sorry. Our time is up.
I see. Well, I'll let you know what I think of that top chef. There's a lot of top chefs. How can all of them be the top chef?
The top one of that series. But again, we can discuss it. And if you're kind, maybe a longer discussion next time. Okay? I'm going to close the door now. Good night.
Wait, don't close the door.
Alex closes the door.
All right. And so, yeah, it's about evening now. Is there anything else that people want to do before they end this day?
I'm going to go back to my room and have an existential crisis, if that's cool with everyone.
Cool. Do you want anyone to come in with you and to have that existential crisis?
I'm going to just very quietly wander off by myself. Probably go try and find that ring I have.
Yeah. Is there, just you're going to your room then?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you going to find the ring? Like, are you doing anything in particular?
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I'm trying to. So we know Dr. Kyle Reed had a ring that was on his finger. Weird shit happened there.
Mm-hmm.
That all things. We also know that I believe Deacon had a ring around, like, on his person somewhere.
I think he was wearing it on a necklace.
That's what I thought too. Yeah, he tends to put stuff there.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So
didn't really think about that, but yes.
It's like, this is significant. I'm wearing it around my neck. Please find it. Yeah. So I now have possession of that. And I wasn't really like, it was a wedding ring. I'm not sure if it is Dr. Kyle Reed's wedding band or anything like that. But I'm gonna go freaking look at it.
Okay. So now that you've actually your attention has been drawn to this thing, you've taken a look at it before, but like you've looked at it. It's a wedding band. Like it is, you know, a donut shape.
Yep.
A torus. Like it goes around what you would expect would be a finger.
That's such a Taurus thing to do.
Yeah, it is.
I hate that. That is a terrible joke.
And you take your meta tool to it and like flip it to one of the settings that allows you to do some investigation, like on the internals of something. And you were half expecting it, like this is just a wedding ring, right? It feels metal. It is just like that's what it appears on the outside to be. And as you start to go over it with your meta tool, you notice this thing is jam-packed full of pre-tech. And as you take a closer look, you're noticing that there are some things, it's kind of two separate pieces. There seems to be one piece where through a very, very small hole, there's some kind of device that pierces through into what you would expect to be someone's hand, like if they were wearing it.
I'm guessing that roughly lines up with...
Yeah. And
I can jump back in my notes, but I got that locked box scene.
Is you investigate that mechanism, you notice that it seems to be taking it. It is all so very small, a lot smaller than you would expect something like that would be able to do some of these things would be. But it seems to be able to take vitals. So there's this part that is attached to some kind of like needle and an apparatus that is able to keep track of the vitals of the wearer. And then the rest of it, the majority of the ring, seems to be some kind of storage device. You're not entirely sure of the data on it, and you're not even 100% sure how you would get the data that's on there right now off of it. But it's not inert.
Yeah.
There's data in there.
I don't know if one owns a safe or anything like that, but I want to put this thing on lockdown.
Okay.
Like super hardcore, as much of in a box away from everybody else as I possibly can.
Sure.
Because, like, you know, it's dangerous.
No, locks up the wedding ring.
I think after that, I'm probably just going to go sit and exist in the kitchen, probably.
All right.
So, yeah, after that conversation, Mike is definitely going to be thinking over how things went a little bit because, you know, she's still suspicious around everything to do with Terra. Would I be able to, like, do a roll to notice that Nona was feeling weird about what was said? Because you were, like, trying to conceal it, right?
Yeah.
I would say
Would
that's
that be all right?
like I think we've done the charisma notice check for that in the
You
past.
want me to roll performance?
You could, I mean, you're not trying to hide it.
That's
I don't
fair.
think.
That's fair.
I mean, are you trying to hide it?
Probably not.
Okay, if you're not trying.
Well, the thing is probably yes from Terra.
But yeah, as you stepped out of the room,
Like,
though, you
immediately.
Okay.
yeah, I'm just gonna say you notice
All right,
that
sure.
Nona's acting a little strangely.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll let you, of course, you know, go back to your room and do all that stuff. I won't retcon that, but yeah, I will come over if you're in the kitchen later. Say, so I don't know, I've been thinking about just what Terra was saying back there. How did that sit with you?
I think I have the consciousness of Dr. Kyle Reed in a ring in my room.
Sorry, what?
Yeah.
Wait, no, what?
I believe I have the consciousness of
Yeah,
Dr.
no, okay, I heard you the first time, but how?
I'm not certain, but based on the things that Terra said, I thought there is a very easy way to disprove this particular theory, which is if there exists a ring and it is just a normal ring, then everything she's saying is just a thing to get in my head, which is her purpose. And so I went back to my room and I looked at the ring, and the ring is quite advanced pre-tech. And it, as far as I can tell, the way it works roughly aligns with the scene we found of Dr. Kyle Reed on Glazoff 5.
You have Kyle Reed's ring? Wait, hold on. Where did
It was
that?
on Deacon's body. My assumption, anyway. Granted, it could be a completely different consciousness, but it seems right.
So Deacon was carrying that around. Yeah, I remember the projection of Kyle Reed back on Glazoff 5. He had that weird thing, like what she was saying, with his ring.
So then my
Jesus.
understanding is that Dr. Samantha Calvin retrieved the ring and then went to go use it on Deacon. Deacon killed her and then claimed the ring as a trophy.
And now you have it.
And now I have it.
Okay. What are you going to do with that? That feels icky. That's so weird.
Yes. And there's also the small matter of me I'm not supposed to exist.
I mean, supposed to is a strong word. Like, no, you're here. If that was the plan that Samantha Calvin had, then honestly, fuck her. I don't know. You're living your life.
Yes. I'm sorry. I am struggling a little bit to.
Yeah, no, I got you. I mean,
She didn't want me to be. She just wanted to use me to prolong her own life.
maybe.
I am a tool.
Alex has been in the kitchen, as we previously established. He's just kind of like sitting at the table and he's like drinking out of a mug. And he goes, "Preach, sister." Yeah. Welcome to the club.
I'm sorry?
Not being wanted, being raised as a tool. Yeah, it happens. It's a thing. I'm here as well with that same definition of born and life and defined. So yeah, you're in good company. I think that there's a fair amount of people out there who can relate. So yeah.
How do you cope?
Poorly. But I do. No, there's other things that are more pressing at this point than that thought. Because as Micah put it, fuck them.
Yeah, I mean, Claire and I too were pretty much brought up to be tools for the government, or we were supposed to just disappear. So yeah, like, I get it. The way I deal with it is say fuck them. It sucks that someone like treated you like that, but you can't be kind of tied down by that. I don't know. It's like, do your thing.
Yes, which brings me to the next topic of conversation. I no longer have a purpose. If I am understanding things correctly, viewing my one and only conversation with Dr. Samantha Calvin through this lens, the piece that I am missing is her consciousness, is my death, is...
Okay, I want to, I guess, address two things. One thing that Micah said, not letting that tie you down, I disagree with.
Okay.
You can have that turmoil. You can have that. That can be tying you down. You cannot let it pull you down. You need to find the other things that buoy you upwards and kind of the good things that keep you up. As for your things, Nona, this kind of idea of, I'm not sure what exactly the question is, I guess, there. Not having a purpose.
Well, you see, I was missing a piece, is basically all that I knew, and I was assuming that was why I was so bad at things. So I have been searching the various libraries, labs, etc., trying to find where Dr. Samantha Calvin went so that I could track down said missing piece of code or hardware or whatever it was. And it seems that the most likely explanation there then is her consciousness, as it was put, pasted over mine.
Okay. I understand that. So you're worried that whatever you were was replaced with what you are now.
More so, I'm I'm still kind of bad at things.
Uh-huh.
And there is no solution.
No, there is. And it's working at the things you're bad at, one at a time. And you, Nona, are blessed with infinite time to one day maybe not be as bad at everything. The rest of us, well, there are some things that we're probably going to be bad at for the finite amount of time we have.
Yeah. Being bad at stuff is kind of just what being a person's about, unfortunately. But you're in good company. Oh.
Am I a person?
Yeah.
I think so.
Was that in question?
Not for a while, but given that one's, sort of only the created purpose of me is to then die. It did call it into question, yes.
The purpose of you is to die?
Yes, again, as I understand it, I was created, and my core exists to be a blank slate for the consciousness of Dr. Samantha Calvin, which means that my existence, the experiences that I've had, the personality that I had, all of that is a mistake. And I exist to be overwritten.
That seems less your fuck up and more Dr. Calvin's.
Yes, no, I agree. It is not my fault. But it does call into question, do you create people solely for the purpose of killing them? I wasn't created to be a people.
There are so many leaps there, Nona.
Yeah. I'm struggling to follow a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, maybe that was her plan all along. But, like, you're here now. It doesn't have to be your purpose just because she had that idea. Like, what do you want to do? That can be your purpose.
I will think on this.
All right.
Okay. The artificial day and night cycle drags on, and you all see that it's about time to hit the hay. You all kind of, go your separate ways. Notice that both Leggett and Claire were very much missing for that entire conversation. They weren't around at all for all of that. I assume Micah and Alex, you're retiring to go to bed?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. No, what are you doing?
Go hang out with EDI 246.
All right. So you guys where are you hanging out?
I don't know. Cargo bay.
Yeah, sure.
Like
You're hanging
room.
out. You just talk. Are you talking or are you
No,
just kind of
we're just existing in
You-
the same space.
So you and EDI 246 are just existing in the same space, and you do what you do sometimes during nights where you just kind of mentally organize your thoughts.
Mhm.
There's been a lot to kind of mentally organize for today.
Yeah, I also find myself continuously drifting back to and this particular robot over here was left in a hole for 600 years. And that particular robot over there was, kind of abandoned. And there's a lot of mistreatment of AIs and VIs and what have you, kind of
Absolutely.
just, mixed in there.
And so you're thinking over all of this. You're thinking of Quinn left alone by herself to fend for herself in a station. You think of Senna, who maybe never got to be the person, but was just left discarded on a bench.
Yep.
You're thinking of Terra and all of her sisters and how, again, they were destroyed or forgotten. And you're going through all of this. And as you're mentally taking notes of these various things, you're starting to not see the cargo bay around you. Again, things start to flash in and out, almost like you're seeing double. But the second image that you're seeing is a pale white room, completely and utterly featureless. And more you find yourself pulled into this, and you look to your side. You no longer see EDI 246 sitting next to you. You look around to see where you are, trying to get your bearings, if there's anyone else here. And you whip around and you notice Micah is just standing there looking at you. And then you both turn around and see Alex. And the three of you are now in this nondescript, featureless white room. That's it.
Go. This has not been a good day.
Micah and Alex, you were sleeping. You got into bed. You fell asleep.
This is a new one. Pretty lucid. Look at my hands. Hey, Nona.
Hi. Why is Claire not here?
Normally something happens in these.
Sorry, is this a weird one of mine? Or are you guys really? Are we sharing?
I mean, we're not
Is it
going
just
to be able
me?
to actually answer that question
Am
until
I
you all
not
gain
real?
consciousness. But I think I'm me, if that helps. Yeah, exactly. Let's not worry about that too much.
Could I be a butterfly?
Do you try and think yourself to be a butterfly?
Lightly.
Alex turns into a butterfly and starts flittering around.
And in his normal voice, he'll say, I dreamed I was the butterfly. And when I awoke, was I me? Or am I the butterfly's dream? That was it, right? That's roughly the quote.
I have no idea what you're talking
Yeah, no. I've heard
And
that.
so Micah, Nona, and Alex the butterfly, you start hearing a weird noise. It's like the organic equivalent of,
I was wondering.
of nails on a chalkboard. You hear just all of the worst kind of sloshing and breaking, and you look to the edge of the room where this noise is coming from, and you see two figures. One is asleep on a slab that is now completely, well, not completely vertical, but leaned back a little bit. The person strapped into the slab is Claire. And standing in front of her, putting its hands over her face back and forth as it seems to be gazing into her very soul, you see a tall, slim figure that stands at nearly 7 feet tall. A collection of wings dots its body. 2 large wings come off of its back. It is glowing and almost flickering. You see its skin, that speckled, almost granite-like skin, and it turns to you all and says, well, this is an unexpected surprise. And that is where we'll end today's episode.
Oh, dear.
All right, well, now we know we can turn into whatever the fuck we want.
I don't trust that.
I don't know if this will be very hard.
Very easy. Get excited for the first few seconds of next episode to just be, and we walk over there and we beat the crap out of him. He promised. He said he was leaving.
Yeah, but then Micah shot him.